Buckle up, everyone, because this deep dive is taking us to Terry Pratchett's Discworld, specifically The Light Fantastic.
One of my favorites.
It really is something. A story that's going to catapult us across a world balanced precariously on elephants and a giant turtle facing a red star. It's all a bit much, isn't it?
It is, and wonderfully so.
Yeah.
But The Light Fantastic isn't just a funny fantasy. It's a book absolutely packed with deeper themes. We're talking fate, destiny, and maybe even what makes a hero.
Oh, definitely. Pratchett always manages to weave in those deeper layers.
Hmm.
So before we get lost in the cosmic mayhem, can you remind us what Discworld is all about for anyone who might not be familiar with its, shall we say, unique setup?
Picture this, a flat disc world.
Okay, got it.
Now put that on the backs of 4 massive elephants.
4 elephants? Okay, I'm trying to keep up.
And those elephants, they're standing on the shell of a giant star turtle. This turtle's name, Rincewind.
So the whole world is on a turtle. That's amazing.
Exactly. And it's swimming through space.
Of course it is.
It's a brilliant parody of those classic fantasy settings, but what makes it even better is that it gives Pratchett this perfect platform for his incredible wit and social commentary.
And that's what makes Discworld so captivating. It's funny and thought-provoking all at the same time.
Yeah.
But this time, it's not just about the setting, is it? Rincewind is on a rather worrying course this time around.
Right. This time the stakes are incredibly high. There's this giant red star that's looming in the sky, and it's not just a pretty sight, it's actually threatening to unravel the very fabric of reality. And that's where Rincewind, our favorite and empt wizard, comes into play.
Ah, Rincewind. The wizard whose magical talents mostly involve running away very quickly.
That's the one. He's not exactly your typical hero. He'd much rather be anywhere else than facing a cosmic threat. But fate, as it always seems to do in Pratchett's stories, has other plans for him.
Speaking of fate, let's talk about those 8 great spells. I know they're pretty central to the story here. What are they exactly and why are they so dangerous?
Well, imagine spells so powerful that they can actually reshape reality. That's what the 8 great spells are.
Whoa!
They were spoken at the very beginning of time and have been floating around the universe ever since, just waiting to cause trouble.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It is. And in The Light Fantastic, one of these spells decides to take up residence in the mind of the most inept wizard imaginable. Rincewind.
Oh, no. That can't be good. Not just for Rincewind, but for the whole Discworld, right?
Exactly. This spell is a ticking time bomb. If it's not handled correctly well, things could get very messy very quickly.
So what happens? Does Rincewind suddenly become this all-powerful wizard?
Not quite, but that's where the real adventure begins. Rincewind, with this spell stuck in his head, ends up on the run from everyone. Power-hungry wizards, strange cults, you name it.
Poor Rincewind. Always in over his head. But at least he's not alone, right? He's got Twoflower with him.
Oh yes, Twoflower. The eternally optimistic tourist who seems to view this whole life-threatening situation as just another exciting part of his travels.
He is quite the character. And let's not forget about the luggage.
Ah, the luggage. Now that's a character.
A walking chest of drawers with hundreds of little legs and a taste for anyone who threatens its owner. It's the perfect travel companion for Discworld.
Absolutely. The luggage is just one example of Pratchett's ability to create these characters that are hilarious and strangely endearing all at the same time. It's this bizarre, almost monstrous creature, but it's fiercely loyal to Twoflower.
I can see why.
Yeah.
And their journey takes them all over the disc, doesn't it? From Ankh-Morpork to the Ramtop Mountains. I bet they encounter some interesting characters along the way.
Oh, they do. They run into druids, trolls, you name it. They even cross paths with Cohen the Barbarian.
Cohen the Barbarian,
Yeah.
as in the legendary warrior. What's he doing in all of this?
Well, that's where things get really interesting, but I think we should save that story for part 2.
Oh, you're right. We can't give everything away just yet. But for now, I think it's safe to say that this deep dive into the Light Fantastic is just getting started. And it's already shaping up to be quite the wild, hilarious, and surprisingly profound ride.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the Light Fantastic.
It's great to be back. Where were we?
Rincewind, with a spell stuck in his head, is on the run. And let's not forget Twoflower and his luggage, of course.
Yes, the luggage. Always up for a bit of chaos.
Yeah.
But where does their journey take them next?
Well, one of the things I love about this book is how Pratchett uses humor to explore these really complex themes. Take the druids, for example.
Oh yeah, the druids.
Rincewind and Twoflower stumble upon their sacred grove just as they're about to perform a human sacrifice.
Yikes.
They're about to offer up a young woman to appease the gods.
It's pretty dark.
It is, but Pratchett somehow manages to make it absolutely hilarious.
Only Pratchett could pull that off. How does he do it?
It's the way he contrasts the seriousness of the Druids and their rituals with Rincewind's oh-so-practical approach. He suggests they just use flowers or berries or something symbolic, but the Druids, they're insistent on sticking to tradition.
I can see how that would be funny. But it also makes you think about the dangers of blind faith and the absurdity of clinging to outdated rituals, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's classic Pratchett satire.
Speaking of characters who challenge the norm, we have to talk about Cohen the Barbarian.
Ah, yes. Cohen. What a character.
He's a legend, but he's also 80 years old.
And obsessed with soup.
Shoop.
That's Cohen's word for soup.
Of course it is. Only on Discworld could you find an octogenarian barbarian who's fixated on soup.
But it's more than just a funny quirk, you know? It's Pratchett's way of highlighting Cohen's age, his weariness with the world, his simple desires.
He's not after glory or treasure anymore. He just wants a good bowl of soup.
Exactly. And he has Bethan with him.
Oh yeah, Bathan. Tell us about her.
She's a young woman, tough, resourceful, and definitely not your typical damsel in distress.
I like her already. She sounds like a great addition to the team.
She is. And she and Cohen make a fantastic pair, this hilarious clash of generations, but with a lot of mutual respect.
I love it. But we can't forget about the main antagonist here.
You mean Trimon?
Yes, Trimon, the power-hungry wizard who's after Rincewind and the spell.
Trimon is a classic Pratchett villain, intelligent and ruthless, but completely blinded by his own ambition.
What's his plan?
He believes he can control the power of the Octavo,
The Octavo. Remind me what that is again.
the book containing the 8 great spells. He wants to use it to harness the energy of that approaching red star for his own gain.
That sounds dangerous.
It is. So how does Rincewind end up facing off against this formidable foe?
Yeah, he's not exactly known for his bravery, is he?
He isn't, but remember, Rincewind has this uncanny ability to survive.
It's like he's protected by some cosmic force.
Yeah.
Or maybe just sheer dumb luck.
Who knows? Whatever it is, it makes for a good story.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what kind of memorable encounters do they have along the way?
Well, there's the scene where they're captured by trolls who want to cook them in a stew.
Oh, no.
And then there are those cults convinced the world is ending.
Of course there are. This is Discworld after all.
But they're more interested in looting and partying than seeking salvation.
That sounds about right. And of course, we can't forget the luggage.
The luggage is always a highlight.
It's not just a suitcase. It's like a force of nature. Protective of Twoflower. Devouring anything it sees as a threat.
Sometimes even rearranging the landscape.
Exactly. It's unpredictable, often violent, but also strangely endearing. A perfect representation of Pratchett's unique style.
He really is a master at creating these characters who are menacing and lovable at the same time.
So we have bumbling wizards, power-hungry sorcerers, ancient barbarians, a suitcase with a mind of its own, and a red star about to destroy everything.
Sounds like the late Fantastic is shaping up to be quite the story.
More than a story, it's a hilarious commentary on everything from religious fanaticism to the perils of tourism.
It is, and that's what makes Pratchett's work so brilliant. He can entertain us with these wild stories while also making us think about the world around us.
I have a feeling things are about to get even more intense as we head toward the climax of this story. I can't wait to find out what happens next, especially with that red star hanging over everything. All right, we're back, and things are about to reach their climax.
The tension is definitely building.
It is. A red star hurtling towards the disc, a power-hungry wizard. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, it all comes down to the Vortex Plains, a place where magic is just raw, untamed energy. Reality is thin there, almost fragile.
The perfect setting for a final showdown then. So what happens? How does this grand finale play out?
Trimon is convinced that he can control the 8 great spells. He's trying to harness the power of that red star.
Using the Octavo, right?
Exactly. He thinks he can create a new world order.
And Rincewind, where does he fit into all of this?
He's terrified. Understandably so. But remember, Rincewind might be a coward, but he's also incredibly resilient.
He always manages to survive somehow.
He does. And this time he has Twoflower and the luggage by his side.
Right. Twoflower with his unwavering optimism and the luggage, ready to defend its owner at all costs.
They really are a perfect representation of Discworld, aren't they? Chaotic, unpredictable, but also strangely endearing.
I love that. So what happens? Does Rincewind suddenly find his inner magical strength and become this powerful wizard?
Not quite. Remember, this is Pratchett we're talking about. Things rarely go as planned, especially when magic is involved.
So what happens?
In a moment of panic, Rincewind mispronounces a word in the spell he's trying to cast.
Oh no, not again. But wait, I remember something about a musical note. A single note saving the Discworld. How does a mispronounced spell lead to a musical note?
That's the beauty of Cratchit's writing. He takes something so small, so seemingly insignificant, and makes it pivotal to the entire story.
So what happens?
The mispronounced word causes the octavo to react in a totally unexpected way. It starts playing a single high-pitched note.
A note? That's it?
C sharp, to be precise.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand how a single note can save the world.
That note, that C sharp, resonates with the very fabric of reality. It creates a harmony with the red star, Great Artuin, with the entire Discworld.
So it's like a tuning fork.
Exactly. And that harmony pushes the red star away, allowing the Discworld to spin on.
Wow. So the world is saved, all thanks to Rincewind's incompetence.
In a way, yes. But it's more than just that. It's about the interconnectedness of everything, the delicate balance of forces that keeps the Discworld spinning, and maybe, just maybe, it's a reflection of our own world, too.
So what happens to everyone?
Rincewind and Twoflower return to Ankh-Morpork, a little worse for wear, but ultimately safe. Twoflower, as always, is already planning his next adventure. And Rincewind, well, he's probably just happy to have survived.
I can imagine. But you mentioned something earlier about a final thought, something about truly being somewhere.
Oh, yes. Right before Twoflower sets off on his next journey, he says that you haven't truly been anywhere until you've gotten back home.
What a great point.
It's not enough to just see the sights. You have to reflect on your experiences. Think about how they've changed you.
That's a powerful message.
Yeah.
And I think it's the perfect way to wrap up our exploration of the light fantastic. It's a story that's funny, thought-provoking, and ultimately full of heart.
It reminds us that even in the face of chaos and absurdity, there's always hope. And that even the most unlikely heroes can make a difference.
If you haven't experienced Carrie Pratchett's Discworld, The Light Fantastic is a great place to start. It's an adventure you won't forget.
And who knows, you might just discover something about yourself along the way.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep laughing. We'll see you on our next Deep Dive.